going to paint you a picture here. Let's say there's this white woman and she's a single mom raising her two special needs white children on her own. She's divorced, she's a divorcee, her husband is estranged from her, they're no longer together, he doesn't provide for her. And she doesn't have an education. She would probably be looked at as someone who was of low class. She doesn't have a college degree. She does have 2 years of college education, but she's trying to do the best she can to take care of her children. So she goes out and gets a job to take care of her family and support her children on her own. And she gets this job working for this black man who is in high position, high power, high authority. So she's reporting to him, and they're completely polar opposite. This is a black man who comes from a privileged family, has a high background, high socioeconomic status. He rubs elbows with those who are high class, high social status. He's a part of all these different affiliations and memberships with different groups and organizations. And he secretly is infatuated with this white woman, but he knows that having a relationship with her would not look good. And he's embarrassed and ashamed to, pursue anything with this woman because of how his colleagues and constituents and peers and friends would look at him. Not only that, he has his family's legacy and name to uphold. I mean, this is a white woman, okay? He's a black man. Not only that, he's highly educated. He's a college graduate. He has this high, powerful position. She's just a lowly secretary who doesn't even have a college education. Not only that, she's a divorcee with two children she's raising on her own. She's a single mother. So this man who's used to doing whatever he wants because he rubs elbows with people who are so powerful. These people run companies and businesses and they are in political offices, and he knows a lot of people who carry a lot of authority and a lot of weight. His name carries a lot of authority and weight. I mean, he has a legacy to uphold. So this man who's used to doing whatever he wants, he's highly adept in black magic, sorcery, magic arts, and he can use this. And he starts attacking this white woman who's doing nothing but coming to work, trying to maintain her job so she can support her children. That's the only source of income she has. So he starts attacking her. He knows how to do mind control. He knows how to bewitch her because he secretly fetishes her. He secretly desires her, but he knows that having a relationship and pursuing anything with her would ruin his reputation that he has to maintain. His reputation and the legacy, upholding the legacy of his family name means more to him than anything. But he cannot suppress his desires and urges that he has for this white woman. So he begins using sorcery to manipulate her mind. He sends emails to her and he attaches curses to these emails. He starts preying on her mind. She comes to work. This white woman cannot stop thinking about this man, and she doesn't know what's going on. She goes at home. This white woman goes at home at night and she feels things. In the middle of the night, while she's lying down trying to go to sleep, she feels things touching on her. She's fully awake. She doesn't see anything there, but she feels things touching her. Hands, what feels like hands gripping on her, violating her most inner intimate parts. She also feels as if something's having intercourse with her. She feels what feels like a man's body inside of her. She's afraid because she doesn't know what's going on. She wants to say something because this is happening every night. She knows it didn't start happening until she started working for her boss. And then she starts having these desires out of nowhere. She's looking at her boss now. She's starting to desire him, and she's never had any type of romantic thoughts about this man before. She just goes to work because she has 2 kids to take care of, and she thinks that she doesn't know what's going on. So she's a Christian woman. She's heavily devout and praying. So she starts praying to God, Lord, what's going on? This white woman is praying every day. And her children, they're seeing that things are starting to change. They're watching this, they're witnessing this. They don't know what's going on with their mom, but they're worried. And so the mom is starting to become afraid to even go to sleep at night because every time she lies on that bed, once again, she feels something. Sometimes she'll wake up in the middle of the night or in the morning when she wakes up after having her fully clothed in a nightgown. She will see that this nightgown is pushed up somehow all the way up to her waist. What happened in the middle of the night that her gown is pushed up? Sometimes her breasts will be hanging outside of that gown. Sometimes she would feel her intimate parts as if they've been fondled. She knows she feels different. When she goes into the bathroom and looks at her body, sometimes she'll look at her underwear. Sometimes they're soiled. Sometimes she smells what smells like semen. She can't realize she doesn't understand any of this. She can't comprehend what's happening. And she knows if she says something, people are going to say she's crazy. So she continues to go to work. She doesn't say a word. She's looking at her boss now because now she's having all these romantic thoughts. She's having dreams about him. She started dreaming about this man. She doesn't know where these dreams are coming from. She can't really say for sure what's going on because the boss acts normal when she's at work. He'll talk to her, he'll laugh at her, laugh with her sometimes and make jokes. But she knows whenever she opens his email, all of a sudden she feels confused. She knows that when she goes home at night, she's feeling these fingers gripping on her. When she gets up in the morning, sometimes when she takes her shower, she's feeling hands touching and fondling body parts of hers. She starts to research what's going on because she knows a little bit about magic. She's heard about it before. She starts looking at websites saying, how is this happening? How is this possible? She wants to know what's going on. So she looks on the internet. This white woman is looking up and researching, and she sees that these African men have confessed that they know how to do magic to the point where they can astral project out of their bodies. And a lot of them have confessed that they would do things to other women that they were attracted to, and they would use their magic to sexually assault these women. So she's angry. She doesn't know how to handle it. She reaches out to churches and emails them and talks about this. They pray for her. And so she goes to work. She's afraid to go to work. She wants to quit her job, but she's supporting her children all by herself. Things started happening. Her children start getting ill. She feels like, they're trying to drive her insane, but she doesn't say anything. She just keeps praying to God, and she keeps going to work every day. But this black man who has all this power keeps taunting her, and she knows it's him because every time he comes to the office, she'll feel her head spinning. She'll feel confused, or she'll feel things following her. As soon as he comes to the office, she'll feel hands touching her while she's sitting at her desk at work, and it doesn't make sense what's happening, but she knows it's him, but she can't say anything. So one day, her boss talks to her and says, hey, can you train? He asks her to train someone, another colleague of hers, and she says, okay, I'll train him. I'll train this person and stay late. So she brings her kids to work because her boss says it's okay. And so she brings her kids to this job, and they meet this black man. Her two white children are looking at this black man. Her white son shakes hands with this powerful black man. And then the black man looks at her daughter and he smiles at her, asks her name. He smiles at her. She goes into the bathroom. The black man is storming around the office and slamming things. She doesn't know what's going on, but she gets up and goes to the bathroom where she leaves her precious young white daughter sitting at the desk playing with her iPad. She goes in the bathroom, leaves her daughter just for a few seconds. When she comes back from the bathroom, she sees this black man standing by the water fountain, water dispenser, not too far from her daughter. And he's just standing there by her daughter. She doesn't think anything of it, but it's a little strange. When she gets home, she notices that the daughter's sleeping behavior starts changing. The daughter starts wanting to sleep in the room with other people. She doesn't want to sleep in her bedroom, or she'll keep her light on. She'll keep her light on when she goes to sleep at night, but the daughter never talks about why. She never says why. After a few weeks of all the torment, the daughter who keeps getting ill, having seizures, the son is getting into legal trouble, the Lord is letting her know that these things are going on because she prays. The Lord is saying she's being bewitched. He's bewitching her. Her boss is bewitching her because he really likes her. He wants to be with her. Not only that, he's controlled by Satan because he's in a bondage, and this is a Christian woman. So she doesn't know how to deal with this. So she ends up leaving her job because, her daughter keeps having seizures. She can't maintain the job anymore. They're threatening to get rid of her. She wants to get away from all the abuse and everything that's going on because she doesn't know how to handle it. The police have been following her around for no reason. They're following her around. Her neighbors are harassing her within the city. So she goes and walks away. She takes her kids back home to get the safe and comfort and be in the house with her mother in Ohio. When she gets there, things keep happening. She's still feeling things happening. She's still being violated. And not only that, her daughter starts trying to cut herself. And she says she wants to end her own life. And she talks to her daughter and says, why? Her daughter finally confides to her and says that she has been feeling like something's been violating her in the middle of the night. When she goes in her shower, things are touching all over her. The same things that were happening to this woman, this white woman, is now happening to her white daughter. And she puts two and two together, and she knows now that this black man, her black boss, was violating her and her white daughter and messing with her children. She goes to the hospital and reports abuse. She says that, hey, her boss is using sorcery to do these things to her and her child. She contacts the police and everything, and they hide it and cover it up. And they take her children from her. This white woman who reported the abuse of her white daughter at the hands of her black powerful boss lost her children. They removed her children from the house, and they have not come home ever since. Now, there wasn't really a white woman who experienced that, and it wasn't a powerful black man, but the roles were actually reversed. This was my story. I was the low-class black woman raising her 2 children on her own. And yes, a powerful white man had violated me and raped me sexually, spiritually for several months, over a year's period, and then started violating my black daughter. I did the role reversal because it's like, I once watched this movie, A Time to Kill, where this man had his black daughter beaten and sodomized and sexually assaulted by these 2 white men, and they did not want to get justice for this black man. They made excuses and justifications for this white man who had done these crimes to this black girl. And they did not want to get that father justice because he had ended up, he was not getting justice. And so the attorney had actually advocated for him and said, imagine, and they detailed all the things that happened and said, imagine had this been a white girl this was done to. Imagine, I lost my children. Imagine if it had been a powerful black man, or a black man period, who was assaulting and terrorizing a white woman and her 2 white children. Would this have been allowed to be covered up this long? Would this have been gone on to the point where nothing was done about it? I lost my children, it was covered up. I just want to show how socioeconomic class and color and race and power still matters in this country, where a black woman can go inside of a hospital and talk to police officers and talk to doctors and physicians and even talk to child and family services in the state of Ohio and tell them that these things were happening, that a man was using magic and witchcraft to assault her and her child. And then not even have so much as an investigation, have the detectives of that police department say they cannot even find this man, they don't know he exists. When you can even pull up all of this information and how everyone covered up for him. It was never about the fact that I was mentally ill or that I talked about witchcraft. So this was always to protect him. Because when my daughter was taken out of the house, we were advised that we can no longer talk about this man. My daughter was advised not to talk about this man or ever mention his name. A powerful Freemason, a powerful man who knows a lot of people in high social status, was allowed to abuse his power and harass and terrorize a black single mother and her 2 special needs children. I ask you, would you allow a black powerful man to harass a white woman and her special needs white children? Would you not even so much as try to even investigate? Would you do so much as to try and cover it up? Would that have happened if the roles had been reversed? Would a black man get away with this? You would have at least, I can guarantee you, he would have at least, if not been questioned, not been picked up and arrested almost right away. He would have at least been questioned. He would have at least been investigated and looked into. I can guarantee it would not have gone on this long, but you have courts and psychiatrists and doctors and child service workers and people and the government who've allowed this to go on. People who have used their positions to cover up everything. And they say it was never about what he done. It was because it's like they sent my son home. They would never send my daughter home. They would never let me see her. Even today, I don't even get to talk to my daughter because they say, they lie and say I'm crazy. They took my children from me without so much as a mental health evaluation. Now you tell me that is about me being mentally ill without even a mental health evaluation, a current one. And this order is allowed to go forth in a Cuyahoga juvenile court system. How do you arrest someone on the prognosis that they have a mental illness without even having a current mental health evaluation? How do you take children out of a home without even investigating a perpetrator once that mother talks about sexual abuse and puts forth allegations against a human being, another man? Like I said, this would not have gone on had the roles been reversed and this has been a white woman being persecuted, being sexually assaulted and abused at the hands of a black man.